Hey, welcome. It's really nice to be here. And I've got Ralph Meyer with me. Ralph is the Global Custom Success Manager for LinkedIn Talent Solutions. Just a fascinating title. And just having chatted with Ralph for a few minutes here, he's actually had a fascinating journey. Ralph, it's really nice to have you here. Thanks very much.
Thank you. How's it going?
It's going well, thanks. So that's a pretty good title, grandiose title, isn't it? So, tell us, what's your background story? How have you come to be sitting here today drinking our coffee, Ralph?
Where does one start? Well, I'm originally from South Africa, so that's probably where the journey started. And we're going back 15 years or so, and I came to the UK for work initially. It's supposed to be one of those 1 or 2 year things. And as luck would have it, I fell into the industry of recruitment. So it's one of those industries that you can't fall into. It's not certainly something that I knew about when I was at school. And from there I got to work for great companies. So my first role was within Reed as a recruitment consultant, and I've moved from a few agencies from there and there in between. And then about 2008, when the recession kicked in, I joined a company called Gartner, the IT advisory firm. And one of the things I was particularly interested in was sort of advanced sourcing. So it was the ability to find people and then work with them and then get them hired. I kind of enjoyed being able to find the right person for the role, rather than having to go through 1,000 resumes and try and do it that way. I was really quality focused. And things moved on from there. So I got to work for Ernst & Young in their financial services part of the business. Got an offer to then work with the stock exchange, which was really... It was one of those moments.
So how did you get to LinkedIn then from all there?
Well, I was going to say, through this whole journey, I was actually a client all the way through, and LinkedIn tapped me up and said, look, we see you've done great work at Stock Exchange, Ernst & Young and Gartner. Why don't you work for us? And I was like, okay, let's do it. So that's how that journey came to fruition.
And when did you start with LinkedIn? How long ago?
So it's been about 4 years now. So I originally started working in our staffing part of the business, which is looking after clients and look after recruitment agencies, so the Hays, the Adecos of the world. And then moved on to corporates, so for the UK, so British Airways, Virgin, a number of clients there. And at the moment, it's global, so lots of early mornings, lots of late nights.
Okay, yeah, absolutely, I understand. So, Ralph, what's been the biggest achievement, or one thing you're most proud of, what you've done in LinkedIn so far?
Oh, wow, okay. So, I guess the biggest in terms of scale would be this year in December, January time. My colleague and I, we've been working so hard with one of our clients, and the idea around it was to act as an advisor with them. So they actually invited us to join their sort of tour in America. So we went to Sunnyvale, hosted them at LinkedIn in Sunnyvale, and we kind of spoke about it, and they wanted us to actually contribute to their recruitment strategy for the next 5 years. And we sat there and we thought to ourselves, well, I'm not sure we're qualified for this, but okay, let's do it.
Well done.
And we got a shout out by Jeff Weiner himself for our team's efforts. We achieved massive things with that client. We're still doing great things with them. And it's one of those case studies that I look at it, I think from a timing perspective, I was just like, wow, we did so much work, such great work in 3 or 4 months that I just look back on it with a lot of pride. So,
That's a great achievement. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
No, really well done. So it's interesting because we talk about and look at our achievements, but obviously there's been challenges along the way, no doubt. What's been the challenge in this current role for you?
Yeah, so I think certainly one of the challenges, and this is with every business, I think, is that when you start to get involved with things like strategy, things don't always work the way you want them to, because we're dealing with human beings. So that human element is very difficult to get right all the time. So I think one of the things that I found certainly challenging in this role is that I would assume that people just get LinkedIn, or just get the subject matter that we're working with. And is that getting people on board and understanding the value and the narrative that we're pursuing, that's been the hardest part. So there's a lot of conversations around that. What is that value? What are we trying to achieve? And bringing it back to that goal. Just because at the end of the day, we're in business doing something, and we are trying to achieve something. And sometimes it's quite easy to lose your sight on something. So just keep bringing that back. I think that's, for me, is the hardest challenge, to say, yeah, we've got an issue here, but does that contribute to the overall success? Not necessarily, we'll fix it, but let's bring this back to in line with what we're actually trying to achieve without getting distracted along the way. That certainly is the hardest part with all my clients here, and internally as well, I would say.
Interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
So where do you see LinkedIn is going to from where we are today What's the future looking for it as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, well, funny enough, we've got the Microsoft T-shirt on.
Yeah.
So the future looks interesting. So our big goal is creating economic opportunity. So you'll hear Jeff Weiner talking about this quite all the time, practically. Ideally, we want to connect every job opportunity on Earth with every working person or member on working person on Earth. And the idea is to create something called an economic graph, so we can quickly see from an opportunity perspective, where can people get that opportunity to work? All right. In addition to that, working with Microsoft, we want to make people more productive. All right. So that's one of the big things where our products work together to help people be more productive. So that's what our vision is, and that's what we're trying to create.
Fantastic!
Yeah.
Wow, look, it's really good. And have you got any upcoming events that you're excited about?
Yeah, so we've actually got, and forgive me, this is from a talent solutions perspective, we've actually got our Talent Connect event, and that is, if I remember correctly, I think it's in October this year. I should know this better by now. We've actually got Michelle Obama talking as a keynote, which I'm hoping I can attend. I mean, that would be an honor and a privilege to watch her speak.
Yeah.
So that's one of the big ones. But within the UK, I mean, we usually have events, just keep an eye out. We talk about them quite regularly from our marketing solutions team, from our talent solutions team, Elevate, which is our social media amplification tools, sales solutions.com. We've got LinkedIn Locals, which are sort of member-led as well. So there are things going on. You just have to keep an eye out for them in the network.
Great.
Yeah.
Isn't that fascinating? And we're just so lucky to have Ralph here today, and just hearing about some of those achievements that have happened with LinkedIn. And I love the fact also you've spoken about a couple of challenges, because that's what business is about. So hey, Ralph Meyer, Global Custom Success Manager for LinkedIn Talent Solutions. It's been a real privilege to have you, and thanks very much for your time, Ralph.
My pleasure, Pete.
It's really good.
Definitely.